Aloha everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Iniloa at Home. My name is Emily and I'm an astronomy educator at Iniloa Astronomy Center. And today I wanted to talk to you about a unique celestial event that is happening in our sky, a great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, which has also been advertised as a Christmas star. Well, just what is happening? On the evening of December 21st, the planets Jupiter and Saturn will appear to be so close to each other in the sky that they will look like a single bright star. If you have been stargazing lately, you may have noticed that these planets have slowly been inching and inching closer to each other. Through our Stellarium software, we can watch as those planets have been inching closer to each other. Let's take a look. So here we are looking at the sky starting on October 1st at 6:30 p.m. We'll be moving forward in time. Here we are getting into December, and on December 21st, the two planets appear to have merged into one singular bright point. The planet Jupiter is particularly bright and is usually one of the first objects to pop out in the sky during the evening, while Saturn appears to be much fainter. And as time goes on to January 1st, the planets will appear to separate. This event is especially unique because it is happening on the winter solstice, the day when the northern hemisphere receives the least amount of daylight. The winter solstice in the northern hemisphere is often considered to be a very significant date for people around the world, and the celestial event has also been considered a very significant event. But is this a unique event? Yes and no. A great conjunction will occur about once every 20 years. However, the last one in May 2000 was incredibly difficult to observe as it was greatly obscured by the rising sun. While these conjunctions occur somewhat often, the last time the planets were this close to each other was during the Great Conjunction in 1623, which was the first great conjunction observed with a telescope. So why is it being called a Christmas star? Well, that's a long story. People have often thought that the motion of the planets in the night sky predicted or even controlled events on Earth. That belief or thought has been called astrology. A long time ago, professional astrologers would often consult kings and nations with messages from the stars. One of the most frequent uses of astrology back then was to predict the births of very significant leaders. With all of this in mind, many historians think that the three wise men from the Christmas story would likely be astrologers who would watch the motion of the planets in the sky to make predictions. As we are able to track the motion of the stars today, astronomers and historians can look back in time together to discover what significant astronomical event could have been the Christmas star in the Christmas story. Over time, many historians and astronomers, including the famous astronomer Johannes Kepler, has concluded that a great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in 6 BC could have been the Christmas star, which the wise men, or astrologers, followed in the Christmas story. So when can you see this unique celestial event? To see the Christmas star, you want to look towards the western sky immediately after sunset. The two planets will be the first celestial objects to stand out in the early evening sky. The Christmas star will be close to the western horizon and will set by 8 p.m. on December 21st. However, just both before and after that date, you will continue to see these planets in the night sky, and they'll always look beautiful. Well, what is actually happening? To understand what is happening with the planets, let's launch off into space. Here, we are sitting over the Earth on December 21st. And in the distance, we can see Jupiter and Saturn appearing to be right on top of each other. But if we back away from the Earth's orbit, we can see how these planets are positioned in their own orbits. From this perspective, we see that nothing much is going on with the planets themselves. However, from our unique perspective on the Earth, it looks like the two planets have merged into one singular point.